I remember speaking to a young man here in Ottawa who has exactly the same job in the federal government as his mother had before she retired. And incidentally, he told me he works in the same office building on the same floor, but he can come nowhere near affording the same house that she brought him up in. Isn't that weird? Do you ever find that bizarre? That we're supposed to do better generation after generation, and yet somehow our kids can't and our grandkids can't afford the homes that their parents and grandparents owned. I've got a buddy who came here from Italy in the early 70s. His mom and dad paved roads. Mom worked at a senior's home making sandwiches. They paid off their mortgage in 7 years. They didn't even speak English. Now, their grandkids, who will have university educations, will have had the benefit of being third generation, could come nowhere near owning the same house in Little Italy near the Civic Hospital. Why is it that our generations are actually doing worse than their parents? That's a good answer. We have the fewest homes per capita in the G7, even though we have the most land to build on, and even though we spend by far the largest share of our economy on residential construction. We spend 9% of our GDP on residential construction, more than twice the 4% that is spent across the OECD, and yet with all of the extra land and all the extra spending, we have the fewest homes. What is standing in the way? Government. Government is standing in the way. The number one cost to building a new home in Vancouver is not land, labor, or lumber. It is government. Government fees, government charges, government delays, government taxes, consultants, lawyers, and so on. The people who are not actually building anything are the most expensive part of the house. I mean, I was just in Riverside South the other day. They're putting up this massive station in the middle of a field. Like, I know that Riverside South is well populated, but around the station itself, it's still tumbleweed. There's room for literally thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of housing units that should be built. So this is how I'm going to make sure that that happens. I'm going to put the federal funds for large transit projects in escrow, in a trust, and the city won't be able to get it until every single station is surrounded by high-density apartments. Occupied. So they're going to have to get bridge financing and fill the place up. We're going to pay for results. Realtors get paid for the number of homes they sell, builders for the number they build. We're going to pay municipalities for the number of homes they permit. Pay for results. We're going to sell off 6,000 federal buildings and thousands of acres of federal land to build. And you know, it warms my heart. It warms my heart to think of the beautiful family rolling up in their U-Haul to move into their new home in the former headquarters of the CBC.